Good morning, everyone, and how are you today? Well, it is getting it done with gratitude, so that means, guess what? It's Thursday, and we are here with you as always. Now, you may think I'm looking a little different. That's because I'm not in my usual place. I'm all the way in Ottawa. The temperature here is a little chillier. But I'm grateful for that opportunity as well. So, we are talking about getting it done with gratitude. And this morning, we really want to spend some time just being a little bit intentional about how we use gratitude and setting goals and achieving the things that we want to achieve in life. And so we thought this morning we would look and explore that with you a little bit more. But thank you to all of you who have been sharing comments, who have been engaging with us. We so appreciate it. For those of you joining us for the first time, let me quickly introduce myself and invite my co host to do the same. So, I'm Karen Williams Thompson, a life and business strategist, and what I do is help women get absolutely clear on what is it that they truly want in their life. What is that burning passion that you really want to pursue? How do we get there? And so I help you to unlock all of those barriers that are keeping you stuck and help you create the pathway by designing a strategic plan that allows you to step into that life that you have imagined for yourself, that life of fulfillment, that life of happiness and joy, whatever it means to you, whatever you want. We are able to do that together. And I'm joined this morning, as always, by my co host, Shelly Ann Edwards Barron. Shelly, how are you this morning?
I am fine. I'm fine. Good morning. And when you said it's a little bit chilly, it made me laugh. Everywhere is chillier than the Caribbean right now because everywhere is just so hot.
Yeah.
But I'm really grateful to be here this morning, and I think I'm excited about today's program, like I am about all others, because I we get to share how it actually works. We've been talking so much about the theory, and this is what I do with my clients, and I'm really, really excited to share because when people set goals, many times they have this lofty ideal at the end. They know where they want to be. So we're at the point where you're already clear and you have the goal, but for some reason you can't get started, or you've started and stopped and started and stopped. And what I do is to help my clients infuse their goals with gratitude and build that resilience and momentum to get started and keep going to accomplish their goals. So, today is like a sneak peek into a little bit about how I work with my clients to get it done with gratitude by infusing goals with gratitude. So, I'm really, really excited to get into it.
Yeah. And when we think about it really, I help persons get really clear on their goals. So we really identify what is it you really want. And that is the to me the beginning of it all, having that clarity. Having the clarity of what is it I really want, but asking yourself questions like why you want it, how you want to be feeling, who you want to impact. And sometimes when we look at the goals, we look at the big picture, we look at the end of where we are going. But there's so many little steps along the way. And I always encourage clients to celebrate each of those little steps. And this is where gratitude really plays a part because if you have set a goal, let us just use fitness for example. If you have set a goal for fitness and you said, well, I really want to lose 20 pounds, and you're thinking and you're focused on this achieving of this 20 pounds, and you're saying to yourself, well, how can gratitude really be applied in a situation like this? Well, here's how. While you are working towards the 20 pounds, you can focus and you can be grateful for what you do have right now. So you can have strength in your arms. You can be grateful that you may be working with a personal trainer. You can be grateful that you live in a space where you are able to get outside in nature and maybe walk for 15 minutes. So there are things that you can be grateful for that can help you focus on the present, that allows you to infuse gratitude into your goal achieving, which is losing the 20 pounds that you have identified that you want to do it. And what that does is that as you go and you are infusing the gratitude and you're working towards the goals, your mind is celebrating that. So we're having this shift in the mindset as well.
Yes.
And it's not feeling as onerous. It's not feeling like, oh my gosh, 20 pounds, will the scaling look as if it moved yet? And go
Yes.
down that road because our attention is somewhere else focusing, and it's on something that makes us feel good. Because if you're
Yeah.
thinking that you're strong arms or you're getting to walk for 15 minutes every day, it's something that makes you feel good, and that releases the feel good emotions within the brain, and that encourages you and builds momentum so that you know what, you don't see it moving, but you keep moving so that you can then see it moving. And that's
Yeah.
one example of how you can take a specific goal and apply gratitude to it.
Yeah, and you know why it works so splendidly? Is because one of the things that happens when we set goals is that we're really saying, I'm not where I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I have an idea of where I want to be. So I'm aiming for that. So we have that goal. However, when that happens, it brings up a gap. You recognize that there is a gap between where you are and where you want to be. And there's always that little voice that comes up to remind us we're not where we should be. And so by setting the goal and having that target and being really clear on the target, while that is very useful because we need to have at least a point where we're aiming for, we create that dichotomy of lack and this is something that I don't have. This is something that I need. And so that brings up some negativity and scarcity. And when we bring up that negativity and scarcity, there is the chance that we can focus on that and not the process and the joy and the abundance that exists and that we're continuing in. And when that happens, it's more likely that the goal will not be achieved because we're focusing on the wrong things, as you said. And
Mm-hmm.
so gratitude allows us to really ground ourselves in joy, in abundance. And that is why it works toward um, helping us continue and get back up when things don't go exactly according to plan, because there's still a lot to be grateful for. And there's even while we are going towards something more, we can still appreciate what actually exists here. And for me it's like I think fitness is one of the more obvious ones where we could say, well, okay, if we're exercising, then that means, well, we have our limbs and we could identify really tangible things. One of the areas that I feel many people struggle with, and certainly the clients that I work with, because I work with mainly women who they aren't where they want to be and they feel that intensely, even though they are quite successful in other areas of their lives. Overall, they feel like they're not where they want to be. And so they have these goals, and the goals feel separate from who they are because this is not what I have, it's what I want.
Mm.
And so making time for themselves and prioritizing themselves and their goals and taking the action, because professional busy women, the first thing that comes to mind is we put everybody else before ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when that happens, and even something as simple as writing three things that you're grateful for. Well, you have to get up early and you're rushing out to go to work, and then when you're at work, everybody's asking you things. The phone is ringing. You know, if you're the boss, you're in charge. If you're not, and you're not the leader, and somebody else is coming to tell you things, there's just a lot happening and a lot happening, and we think, okay. we're trying to get this done. So making any kind of personal development change seems quite impossible because where do we get the time to do this? We're already overwhelmed and we're already stuck. And so in a case like that, where do you begin? What would you do? My recommendation is to decide, let's say start small, 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Allocate 10 minutes in your day that you are going to put yourself first in that 10 minutes.
Hmm.
And then you begin infusing that with gratitude so that you could feel good about doing something like that and putting yourself first.
Yeah.
And then from that process you build. So it's kind of like you're exercising that muscle. So if you look at it like a muscle, um the self-care. So like you're emphasizing and exercising your self-care muscle. For people like me who were like, complete workaholics, everything, I'm task oriented. That's what I was told. Right? So my
Yeah.
first thought is how to get something done. And that means actually physically, literally getting it done. So then sometimes I might miss a meal or I'm losing sleep because I'm so focused on getting it done. Gratitude helps me pause and step back and appreciate that where I am is okay,
Hmm.
enough right now. I'm working towards something else, but I am still enough right now.
Yeah, and when I work with my clients who present somewhat like what you have described, one of the things that I encourage them to do is to establish a morning routine. Because when
Yeah.
you establish a morning routine, and you can set the time, you can say you only have 10 minutes for it, you can say 15, you can say 30, but you determine it so that it doesn't feel as though it's something that's being imposed on you. It is something that you have designed intentionally for yourself, and you get to determine what happens in that time. But with everything, it's about setting the intention, and then it's about
Mm,
being consistent with it. So you
yeah.
decide your morning routine may look like I'm going to have 5 minutes of meditation. You may not meditate, you may say I'm going to do journaling. You may have that time for just quiet time and prayer. You might say that you want that time for exercise to get all the adrenaline and everything moving. You determine what happens for those 15 minutes. And then you get to say, good. I feel good because I got to do it. And so your
Yeah.
gratitude is stepping in and you're focused on the present and what you have.
Yes.
And you are allowing yourself then to bask in that. And the rest of your day then is going to piggyback and flow off of that. And so one of the things for really busy people to do is to look at your day, see where all that time is going. What are all those tasks that are taking up your time? Do you really need to be the one to do each and every single one of those tasks? Maybe
Hmm.
some of those tasks could be delegated. Maybe they don't all have to be done at the same time. So, where are the white spaces? Where are the opportunities within your day that you can then prioritize time for yourself? And I think with personal growth goals, where you want to step into that higher version of yourself, where you want to be the best that you can possibly be,
Feel
is really
confident.
important to start with you. And how you get to do that is by starting to build in um, these little routines and habits for
Mhm.
yourself, because as you do that and you build on that, it is going to have a ripple effect. You're going to see it showing up then in your career, in your relationships. It's going to start to ripple out every single way. So that is one thing that I will highly recommend, that if you find yourself really task driven, that you create a morning routine. And if for some reason your life does not allow you to have a morning routine, but you can have maybe an evening one, still get into some sort of habit of having a routine so that you build. The important message here is building in time for you so that you get to
Mhm,
do the things
mhm.
that you want to do and you get to feel good about it.
Yeah, well, I think I want to advocate for having that morning routine with the gratitude, because um, if we are saying to ourselves that we are too busy to spend time with ourselves in the morning, then we really do need to step back and take stock of what is happening in our
Mm,
lives and what exactly we're prioritizing. Because as you're speaking about that, there's a practice called keeping a time diary. And that helps you, sort of track what's going on
yes.
during the day,
Mm,
and you ideally want to do it for about 7 days, because you want to see on the different days what happens, on the weekends what happens, and so on, so you can see actually where the time goes and where it's allocated. But in the morning, when you do that routine, infusing that with gratitude is also important. So it's not going to take you 15 minutes, 20 minutes even, to write down three things that you're grateful for, especially if you set yourself up to win, so that you know what you do in the morning. So you would have to track that. And then you just need to pull out like maybe 3 minutes, 5 minutes maximum for you to pick up your journal, hold it, and write the things that you're grateful for, and just three things. And when I talk about infusing your goals and so on with gratitude, it really starts with creating. So we have the goal, and then what we do is to create a gratitude statement, and then you're writing the same thing over and over for a period of time. And so it's not, some people say, well, I don't know what to think about, I don't know what to be grateful for. So you're not really being pressed to come up with three fresh, new, different things every morning. What you're working with is, what are my goals? What are the things that I can be really grateful for as I move toward these goals related to the goals? And then you create your gratitude statements, and then you write the same thing over and over, because repetition is huge. We talk about consistency, we talk about creating habits. Repetition is insanely huge when it comes to that kind of thing. So
mhm,
um it's one of the misconceptions that I deal with all the time when I talk about gratitude. Many people believe that they have to, when I write these three gratitudes every day, I have to come up with something new. What if I run out of things to say? And there's a lot of anxiety, Me personally, I don't think you could ever run out of things to be grateful for. But when you're just getting started, if this is not your habit yet, it is going to be a challenge. And it's perfectly fine and actually recommended to focus on the same things. And especially after you've carefully crafted those statements, by saying it right, working on the words, making sure the language is effective,
mhm,
and you work on it. So, like, let's say one of your goals is to own a house. Part of that desire to own a house is to be in a certain space. So you could look around in the space that you inhabit right now and think about all the things that you're grateful for in that space. Work out three of them, create your gratitude statement around those three things,
mhm,
and then every morning you're reminding yourself about the abundance that you have. And in the affirmation world, there's the concept of like attracts like.
mhm.
So when you're grateful, you attract more things to be grateful for. When you're happy, you attract more things to be happy for. And so if you have a specific goal, then infusing that goal with gratitude for things related to that goal, guess what's going to happen?
So shall we still help those listening a bit better? Can we like craft a statement that persons can actually then use that as the springboard that they could apply what they are grateful for, so that it just gives them the beginning, the nuance of what their gratitude statement is going to be. Like you have one to hand.
Well, I have a few that I use that I could share. But if you like, you can give me a goal that we're working on. Let's say one that one of your clients may be working on, and I could use that. So, like right now, I am working on my money mindset, and
Mm-hmm.
so I have a statement that I write every morning. I am happy and grateful for all the money energy that flows around me, through me, and especially the money energy that stays with me.
Mm.
And so, because I do have, so it's not as if my bank account is not zero and it's not in a minus. And so there's a lot that I have. If I pull my wallet now, I am very, very cognizant of the fact that if I pull my wallet now, there is money in it. It's not a lot, but it has money in it, right? And there are many people who don't. So that is a privilege, regardless of the color of the money it has in it, right? So I'm very grateful for that. So that's just one. Um, because I'm working on my mindset toward the energy of money. So that's the one that I'm using at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so and I also have one that, I'm grateful for the space, the roof over my head, and they one of my favorites is running water, because I've had experiences where um you have to fill a bucket to go and take a bath, and you have to be dipping, and no hot water if you can't heat it up on the stove before and put it in the bucket. So, and so I'm really, really eternally grateful for things like that, because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it shows great gratitude for the space that I exist in. And while
Yeah.
I work on improving the space, I am grateful for what exists, because
Yes.
it's a privilege to have these things.
Yes.
And so things like that. So yeah, give me a goal and we could work through creating
Yeah,
that that, that statement.
when you were saying that, I was thinking, oh, I have a money mindset statement that I make all the time as well. But what I wanted to add is to always say it in the present. Say it as though you have it and you are receiving it now. Don't say I will. Say the I am. So when you were saying it just now, it just popped into my head to remind persons always speak it in the present
Yeah,
tense that
that's
it
that's
is
why That's why this statement is, I am happy and grateful for all the money
correct.
energy that flows around me.
Yes,
Because it is flowing around me now, even when I did not recognize it. It was
it is
there.
there.
But now that I'm recognizing it, it is there.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm doing is noticing it. And that is really what you want your gratitude statement to do.
Mm-hmm.
Recognize and notice the things around you that exist. And that's why it's important to say it in the present. Because
Yes.
if you say something like, I'm happy for the money energy, I will feel, and
Mm-hmm.
that will flow around me, we're setting it into the future.
Correct.
And
Yeah.
we don't want to set it into the future. We
No.
want to
Yeah.
acknowledge what exists now.
Yeah.
And so I think that is a crucial point.
Mm-hmm.
And we also want it to be positive. So we're not saying we're happy and grateful that we're not broke. We're happy and grateful for the riches that we have.
Yes, yes. So some of the things that my clients are working on are transitioning from in the corporate to setting up their own business. And sometimes that looks like a really very huge step, because one of the major concerns is really ensuring that as you transition, you are able to continue to have the quality of life that you have. You don't want it to drop. You definitely want it to go up or to look different depending on what your needs are. And so that is something. So when we look at setting that goal, and it's not something that happens in a minute. So you know that we have an end goal that we're going to, but in the process, you are
Mhm.
grateful that you have, that you are working in something that's giving you the revenue to at least help you to transition. You are grateful for the skills that you have that are allowing you to
Yes.
build that business. You are grateful for the people that are helping and like working with a coach who's helping you
Mhm.
to navigate and to create that plan. So along the way that there are things that you can do to really infuse gratitude. And so you can we can use that to craft a statement
Yeah.
um,
Um,
for
I'll I'll
as
give
a
you a personal
sample.
one. I'll give you a personal one. This is one that I use as well. I I have a statement that says, I am so happy and grateful for the awesome clients that I have. I am happy and grateful for understanding clients. I am happy and grateful for clients who don't question my my fees. So rephrasing that, because that's an area, notice I said don't. I
Mm-hmm.
am happy and grateful for clients who don't question my fees.
Mm-hmm.
That is how easy it is to get into the negativity. So let's rephrase that. I am happy and grateful for clients who willingly pay my asking price.
Yep.
And so, so those are three statements, because business is all about engaging with clients. It's
Yes.
all about serving them and helping them. And we can even say, I am so happy and grateful clients appreciate what I do for them.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Even though this is not something that we have discussed previously, my gratitude statement around clients is that I am grateful for clients who are ready to invest in themselves and trust me to help them on that journey. So they are in a place where they have already acknowledged I'm ready to do it and I'm ready to invest. So they're not even questioning it because they are ready.
Yeah.
And so it's yeah, I like that. I
Yeah,
like
and
that.
so those, and that's the way you would infuse the gratitude. And if that's an area of concern for the client or for you, then
Mm-hmm.
that is something that you want to write down every morning, and not
Mm-hmm.
just say it out loud, because saying it out loud is important, yes, but you want to write it down, because there is that connection between making it physical. So speaking it out into the world is part of making it physical, but
Mm-hmm.
your voice, when you stop speaking, essentially your voice ends. But when you write it, it's there printed. So even when you are not saying it, it's there. And so there's that step to really infuse. You want to write it as well. So you write it out. I am so happy and grateful for clients that willingly pay my asking price. And so you write that out in the morning. And so what it does is that it energizes you and has your mind thinking about, oh, this is what she likes, this is what she wants.
Mm.
And I don't know if you remember The Secret, when there was this big concept of, this is a secret to life, you have to do these affirmations and different things. In one of the videos that they created around The Secret, there was this sequence where they discussed your subconscious as being like a genie.
Mm.
And what it says is that your wish is my command. And so when you do things like, I'm grateful for this, I'm so excited and happy and grateful that I have this, then your subconscious says, oh, this is what we like. Let's do some more of this. And so there's a lot of, background stuff happening, but it's an easy matter, simple matter of writing that down. And I'm saying simple and easy only because um it is practically as in writing down one statement, two statements, three statements. It is something that has to be done consistently, though. And so, while throughout the rest of your day, and we do all different types of affirmations and so on, you want to be clear on what you're grateful for in relation to the goal that you're particularly working on, and you want to be consistently grateful for these things in relation to the specific goal that you're working on.
Mm-hmm.
So it means then that you'd want to narrow it down and start somewhere. We're not trying to accomplish everything. And there are some people who um, work with, they want to list as many things as possible to be grateful for. I recommend to clients restrict it to 3 or 5 maximum,
Mm-hmm.
because while you want to gain the energy, you don't want to have it like you're trying to exhaust it. It's
Yeah.
not about exhausting it. It's just really about acknowledging it. And once you start, your mind is going to start thinking about, yeah, I know I have more. I have more. There's more that I can add.
And I think that when persons see that, when they actually start and they actually see that happening, that more starts to come, they actually believe it more, and that helps. That also helps to propel them and to keep them going. But every time I hear this, it all comes back to the three A's. I talk about these three A's all the time, and if we apply these three A's, or we just hold those three A's close, it just helps us to come back to exactly what we need to do. So you have the awareness, you have the thought, so you
Hmm.
you acknowledge it, and then you take action on it. And if you keep
Yes.
remembering three areas: awareness, acknowledge, action, awareness, acknowledge, action, and you follow those steps, it's not going to seem like it's something that's insurmountable. It's not going to seem like it's something that, oh my goodness, it's another task that's being added to the day.
Yes.
It's not going to feel like that, I promise. It's going to feel so much easier. It's going to just flow and be part of your day, because it just becomes a habit. It becomes
Yeah.
something that you
But
have
it brings
built into
clarity.
your day, and it does
Yeah.
that. And having the awareness and acknowledge it does help with the clarity. So applying those three A's is something that it will just help. Take it from
Hmm.
me. It will just help to
Yeah,
do that.
and we can talk about this forever. I just saw 32 minutes past.
Yes,
Oh my
yes, yeah.
goodness.
But
Oh,
I
we have
think,
a comment though. I want to say hi. Hi, Stella. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. She says she absolutely agrees on how what we are grateful for shows up more. Genuine gratitude manifests our goals. Absolutely. I love that statement. Genuine gratitude manifests our goals. And I use the word intentional because we, I'm grateful. But what are you grateful for exactly? How is it
correct. Be
related to your
specific.
goal? So, yes,
Yeah.
specific and related to the goal. So, we're grateful in general, yes, and that is going to infuse a lot of positivity. But then, if you're aiming for something, then being strategic about the gratitude really infuses and it creates an exponential connection.
Yeah. And that that's it. But we think this morning we really wanted to take you that step so that you can actually start creating your statements, because we want to encourage you to do that so that you can start to see the difference. You can actually see the difference. You can actually feel the
Hmm.
difference. You can build that momentum, and then start witnessing the ripple effect happening in your life. Because I think we can promise that if you actually do that, you are going to see that. But as Shelley said, and we shouldn't use but a lot of
Yeah,
them
we,
there.
we're working on it. We're all a work in progress. Yeah.
Yes. As Shelley said, though, we have to be consistent. So
Yeah.
if you
Hmm.
get, and things will happen. So if you get sidetracked, something interrupts you, remember the three A's: awareness, acknowledge, and take the action. And taking the action, write out your gratitude
Yep.
statement.
Yep.
And if you miss tomorrow, don't worry about that. Get up the next day and write it the next day. And
Yep.
that's the important thing. Don't dwell in the what you don't have. Don't dwell in the what didn't happen. Just take the action and focus on where you are going and what you are doing no in this moment.
And if you're wondering where to start, one of the actions we recommend is to join us again next week, Thursday, for more of Getting It Done with Gratitude. If you want more, reach out to Karen, reach out to myself, because infusing goals with gratitude is a highly personal thing. What are your goals? What are the things you have that you can be grateful for? So if you want a little support in dealing with that, reach out. We'd be more than happy to work with you. And just like that, our time is way gone. So we do have to say goodbye, but join us next week, Thursday, 7 a.m. AST, Atlantic Standard Time. And we'll be right here talking about how you can get it done with gratitude. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.